morning, I'm Alma Angeles and you're watching ASEAN in Focus on tonight's headlines. A shocking and tragic incident unfolds in Bangkok, Thailand, as a 14-year-old suspect gunman is arrested following a deadly shooting at the iconic Siam Paragon Mall. The incident claimed the lives of 2 individuals from China and Myanmar, while 5 others were injured. The Philippine government announces plans to remove price limits on rice, citing declining prices in the market and the anticipated increase in supply during the ongoing harvest season. In a somber revelation, the Department of Foreign Affairs discloses that the suspect in the murder of a 32-year-old overseas Filipino worker in Saudi Arabia is a foreign acquaintance of the victim.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
And in a stunning political upset, Kevin McCarthy, the House Speaker, is ousted from his position by members of his own party. And this historic development makes McCarthy the first Speaker to be voted out, triggered by a dramatic showdown on the House floor led by U.S. Republican Representative Matt Gaetz and GOP hardliners. Their anger stems from McCarthy's recent deal with Democrats to avert a government shutdown. In a shocking and tragic incident, a 14-year-old suspect gunman was arrested by Thai police on Tuesday after a deadly shooting at the renowned Siam Paragon Mall in Bangkok, Thailand. Now, the incident left 2 people dead, both women from China and Myanmar, and 5 others were injured. Police revealed that the teenager was in custody, but too confused to undergo questioning.
คือเขามีเหมือนจิตเวชครับเขารักษาอยู่ที่โรงพยาบาลราชวิถีแล้วก็ไม่ได้ทานยาเขามีความรู้สึกว่ามีคนมาพูดว่าต้องยิงคนนี้ต้องอะไรเขามีเหมือนมีตัวเขาอีกคนนึงเท่าที่เราสอบถามเด็กเบื้องต้นนะครับ
The chaos erupted in the late afternoon when gunfire was reported at the upscale mall, one of Bangkok's top shopping destinations. Witnesses described the panic and confusion that gripped the mall as people ran for cover.
เพราะว่าตอนวิ่งหนีไม่มีใครบอกแล้วอย่างหนึ่งที่เนี่ยทุกคนวิ่งกันอย่างเงี้ยเป็นประจำเพราะว่าทุกคนวิ่งตามดาราบ้างอะไรบ้างแล้วเหมือนมันไม่ได้มีใครบอกค่ะว่าเราต้องหนีเพราะอะไร
然后吃饭的过程中很多人外国人中国人泰国人跑过去然后我们当时不知道发生了什么后来旁边的店员招呼我们进店然后告诉我们有枪手然后这个时候所有人都在找地方躲很多人都已经就是像那种丧尸电影里面一样吓到不行了
4 ถึง 5 นัดที่เป็นเสียงดังแต่ตอนแรกยังไม่รู้ว่าเป็นเสียงปืนแต่คนเริ่มกรูลงมาแล้วก็มีคนตะโกนว่ามีคนยิงกันปุ๊บ
The suspect was identified as a student at a private school located just meters from the mall. The school's director confirmed that the suspect was one of its own students. Siam Paragon, Thailand's most famous mall, is highly popular among locals and tourists alike, known for its high-end stores, aquarium, movie theater, and renowned food court dining. In 2013, it was named the world's most photographed place by Instagram. Now, Thai Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin visited the scene of the shooting and called on the wounded in the hospital. He offered condolences to the victims' families and assured the public that the government would implement the highest safety measures for the safety of all tourists.
As I said, it's an unfortunate incident. The government of Thailand is very sad that it happened, but I believe that the aftermath of the incident, the management of the Siam Paragon have done the best that they can, and we hope that this will just be one of the incidents that would never happen again. The government is placed a lot of importance on this issue. Everything is of my concern, especially anything that is not pleasant happening in this country. Yes, we will make sure that this doesn't happen again.
More than 4,000 homes in central Thailand have been submerged by floodwaters, impacting approximately 5,000 residents. The inundation occurred in Sukhothai province, situated roughly 400 kilometers north of Bangkok. when heavy rainfall caused the shallow Yom River to breach its banks. While Thailand typically experiences heavy rainfall during its rainy season, scientists suggest that man-made climate change may intensify precipitation. In anticipation of incoming rains, riverside areas of Bangkok are on alert as authorities have cautioned that the capital city may face flooding. Climate change is making extreme weather events like floods more common and more severe. This is a major concern for Thailand, which is already vulnerable to flooding due to its low-lying geography. In Sukhothai province, the Sukhothai Disaster Prevention Center informed AFP that over 4,300 homes have been inundated, affecting around 5,000 individuals. The director of the Sukhothai Provincial Irrigation Project outlined their efforts to manage the flood. He also expressed optimism about the situation.
เราก็หาวิธีการจัดการโดยนำเครื่องไม้เครื่องมือที่เรามีอยู่เนี่ยเช่นว่าเครื่องผลักดันน้ำเนี่ยนำน้ำดังกล่าวเนี่ยไปลงปากพระหรือพื้นที่ลุ่มต่ำของโครงการชลประทานสุโขทัยเนี่ยให้เร็วที่สุดนะครับไม่รบ
The Philippine government is set to remove its price limits on rice, according to an official from the Department of Agriculture. The decision is based on the declining rice prices in the market and the expected increase in supply as the harvest season begins this month. Now, this development follows a sectoral meeting with President Marcos Jr. at Malacanang, where both the DA and the Department of Trade and Industry recommended the lifting of the mandatory rice price restrictions.
I think it's the appropriate time since namimigay tayo ng mga bigas. Yes, we are, as of today, we are lifting the price caps on the rice, both for the regular milled rice and for the well-milled rice. So, tinatanggal na natin yung mga control. Pero hindi ibig sabihin basta't ganun na lang. Dahil kailangan pa rin natin ayusin ang agricultural sector, kailangan pa rin natin tulungan ang mga pinakamahirap, pinakagutom, na para kahit papaano makaahon sila. So to do that, we have we will continue the assistance that we have been giving to farmers, number one. Also, the assistance that we have been given to those most underprivileged families. Yung sa pinakamababang demographic economic class. Dahil talaga sila ang naghihirap. So,
well, alam naman natin na multi-prong approach yung ginagawa natin. Meron tayong naitala na 1 milyon na food poor families sa buong bansa. Sila yung magiging beneficiaries nung nilunsad ng Pangulo natin na pilot program na food stamps. Pero habang inaayos pa natin yung pilot noon, tuloy-tuloy naman tayo mag-distribute ng assistance to individuals in crisis situation. Ito yung araw-araw nakikita nyo sa ating mga field office kung saan nakakatanggap sila ng food assistance. At yung food assistance na yun yung ginagamit nila pambili ng bigas dahil readily available naman sa ating mga merkado ang murang bigas. At tuloy-tuloy yan, it's a mainstay program ng departamento. Pinag-utos ho ng Pangulo kahapon at pinagtibay naman ng departamento na pag-iigtingin pa natin yung pag-distribute ng assistance to individuals in crisis situation.
Marami pa tayong ginagawa para tiyakin na ma-maintain nga natin ang presyo, ma-maintain. Ang supply hindi talaga problema. Ang supply talaga hindi problema. We have, I think, presently close to 40 days. Packet lang ng packet, umaani tayo eh. So so we are lifting the price cap, but besides that, we are taking other measures para tulungan ang ating mga farmers in terms of their equipment, their processing, etc. We are also concentrating on the NCR because that is where the prices are most volatile and are highest. So doon tayo mag-concentrate una. We will pilot that project for the 33 NCR districts.
Good morning, sir. Can we get a reaction to the recent Pulse Asia survey that shows your lowered approval ratings? Thank you.
It's not surprising. People are having a hard time. Because yung hirap na bigas ito eh. Ibang usapan pag bigas. It's different from anything else any other agricultural product. I completely understand it. And that's why we're working very, very hard to make sure that this comes up again. Not because of the survey. That's not important to me. What's important to me is that we make sure that people have enough to eat and that it is affordable to them. And kaya hindi mo masisi ang tao. Talagang naghihirap sila. So that's why we are doing all of these things.
In Singapore, authorities are grappling with a massive money laundering case that has shaken the nation's reputation as a global financial hub. The case has seen over $2 billion in assets seized and frozen, making it one of the largest such cases in the world. Second Home Affairs Minister Josephine Teo addressed lawmakers in Parliament, acknowledging that this case exposed potential loopholes in Singapore's anti-money laundering laws that criminals could exploit.
Police had initially received disparate information on suspicious activities. In 2021, our anti-money laundering regime picked up the use of suspected forged documents to substantiate sources of funds in bank accounts in Singapore. Some suspicious transaction reports were filed by financial institutions and other companies. Police began looking separately into these alerts. Police painstakingly and discreetly traced their ties and assets. Members would appreciate that anti-money laundering probes of this scale and nature are complex. Connecting the dots between people and things is a lot easier said than done.
Now, since August, authorities have conducted a series of raids resulting in the seizure and freezing of assets worth more than 2.8 billion Singaporean dollars, including properties, vehicles, cash, cryptocurrencies, and more. Now, 10 foreign nationals, all originally from China, were arrested in connection with a suspected international money laundering ring. Minister Teo also stated that more arrests and asset seizures are expected as the situation continues.
We also had to be very discreet, and so police moved cautiously and with only a very small team. Had the suspects caught wind of our probes, the suspects and their assets might have fled, and the investigations and the entire operation might have been jeopardized.
Police first received information about suspicious transactions in 2021, which included suspected forged documents. Between 2020 and 2022, an average of 43,000 suspicious transactions were reported annually in Singapore.
All this work done by the STRO, sectoral regulators, and police is incredibly difficult. It's not just one needle in a haystack, but one needle in several haystacks. It is also not a static field because determined money launderers are always finding new ways to hide their tracks and avoid detection.
Minister Teo also debunked rumors of pressure from China to resolve the case. Minister of State for Trade Alvin Tan mentioned that some of the accused may have been connected to family offices which manage the assets of a single family and receive tax incentives. Now, this high-profile money laundering case has sent shockwaves throughout Singapore, and authorities are determined to strengthen their effort against financial crime. The Department of Foreign Affairs has disclosed that the suspect in the murder of a 32-year-old overseas Filipino worker in Saudi Arabia is a foreign acquaintance of the victim. DFA Assistant Secretary Paul Raymond Cortez made the announcement, adding that the suspect is currently in the custody of Saudi Arabian authorities and that a comprehensive investigation is underway.
Tulad po na naiulat din sa mga ibang balita ay si Marjoret Garcia. Tubong Luzon po siya, hindi ko pa lang sigurado kung saan, may asawa at may mga anak. Natagpuan po siyang patay at duguan, natagpuan siyang duguan with a stab wound, kung kaya't itinakbo siya ng pulis sa ospital kung saan namatay na po siya. And as far as we were told by Basi, ay yung suspect o yung supposed perpetrator ng krimen na ito ay nahuli na din po ng police ng Saudi Arabia at under investigation na po ang kaso. Itong suspect po ay hindi po Pinoy. So ibang lahi po siya at medyo devastated nga po ang pamilya, trabaho si Marjorie. At once the investigation is over, magre-release na po ng documentation ng Saudi kung kaya pwede na rin pong maiuwi ang mga labi ng ating kababayang pinaslang po.
The victim, Marjorie Gonzalez Garcia, was found with stab wounds and was rushed to the hospital by police, but she unfortunately succumbed to her injuries.
Employer ang pumaslang po sa ating kababayan at as far as we know, magkakilala ko or hindi po tapos ang investigation pero sabihin ko parang co-worker kung kaya talagang we're waiting for the investigation and the results para klaro din ho yung maibalita natin both to the next of kin sa pamilya at siyempre sa publiko, sa media.
Meanwhile, in other news to the U.S., in a stunning turn of events, Kevin McCarthy has been ousted as House Speaker by members of his own party. This historic development marks McCarthy as the first Speaker to be voted out.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
The dramatic showdown on the House floor was forced by U.S. Republican Representative Matt Gaetz, alongside GOP hardliners who were furious with McCarthy for striking a deal with Democrats to avert a government shutdown. Despite holding a slim majority, McCarthy found himself needing Democratic support to survive, but none came to his rescue. Now, this high-stakes tussle comes just days after both the House and Senate passed a measure to avoid a costly government shutdown with significant bipartisan support. The deal extends federal funding through mid-November.
Doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it is necessary. I don't regret standing up for choosing governance over grievance. It is my responsibility. It is my job. I do not regret negotiating. Our government is designed to find compromise. I don't regret my efforts to build coalitions and find solutions. I was raised to solve problems, not create them.
Conservatives accused McCarthy of a flip-flop, alleging he had promised an end to hastily prepared stopgap legislation and a return to the committee process for budgeting. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle expressed their frustrations.
On Congress that we would have a budget, we would have 12 separate spending bills. That didn't happen. We started that process at the very last minute. That's why we're in this situation today. And I come from South Carolina. When you shake my hand and you make a promise and you don't keep it, there are consequences to those actions.
Meanwhile, Congressional Progressive Caucus Chairwoman Pamela Jayapal, a leading leftist, vowed to let Republicans wallow in their pigsty of incompetence rather than come to McCarthy's rescue.
Just let Republicans deal with their own problems. I mean, they can let them wallow in their pigsty of incompetence.
Now let's listen to Representative Matt Gaetz.
The reason Kevin McCarthy went down today is because nobody trusts Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy has made multiple contradictory promises, and when they all came due, he lost votes of people who maybe don't even ideologically agree with me on everything.
McCarthy, who worked with Democrats to temporarily delay a shutdown this weekend, responded to the developments.
I will not run for Speaker again. I'll have the conference pick somebody else. Look, you all know Matt Gaetz. You know it was personal. It had nothing to do about spending. It had nothing to do about everything he accused somebody of he was doing. It all was about getting attention from you. I mean, we're getting email fundraisers from him as he's doing it. Join in quickly. That's not governing. That's not becoming of a member of Congress. And regardless of what you think, I've seen the text. It was all about his ethics. But that's all right.
Finally, in our news, a cat wearing a black and yellow security vest strolls nonchalantly past security guards lined outside a Philippine office building, waiting to receive instructions for their shift. Conan, a 6-month-old stray, joined the security team of the Worldwide Corporate Center in the capital, Manila, several months ago. And he's one of the lucky Mogis unofficially adopted by security guards across the city, where thousands of cats live on the street. While the cat lack the security skills of dogs and have a tendency to sleep on the job, their cuteness and company have endeared them to board security guards working 12-hour shifts.
Yung kulang sa akin kapag wala si Conan, ma'am, yung parang nawawalan po ako ng gana, parang ganun. Parang kung wala siya, parang tinatamad po ako mag-duty. Kasi yun lang po yung talaga yung lakas ko para ma-kon ko siya na yung mawala po yung mga stress.
Ngayon na may kasama ako, ma'am, masaya. Unang-una, nakakatulong sila sa akin, lalo na pag sa gabi po, pag inaantok na kami, sila ang naaalis yung antok ko dahil nakikipagharot sila mismo. Sila mismo ang lumalapit sa akin kapag nakaupo ako, nakikipagharot. Tapos pag nagro-roaming ako, tipong meron akong kausap kasi habang sumusunod sila sa akin, kinakausap.
Parang very approachable. Unlike sa dogs, di ba? Yung iba kasi parang ang tapang nila tignan. Unlike sa cat na parang pwede mo silang ipet agad pagkaganyan.
As my usual habit, I'd like to end the day on a positive note. Let's encourage and build each other up so that no one is left behind. And that's it for tonight's broadcast. I'm Alma Angeles. Stay in the news, for we live in extraordinary times. Good night.